last month I told my dietitian that I was like, I'm not happy with my weight right now. I would like for my weight in my body to be different, but I accept the way exactly as it is.
That's a big deal. That means I'm not going to hurt myself because it's not in the place I want it to be. You've arrived at the Mental Health Spotlight podcast with therapist Caise. Am I calling you Grayson?
Yeah.
Hi, Grayson.
Hi, Caise.
How many times have we done this now?
3.
3 times. 3 times. And I feel like each time it's a development in your own recovery process.
It is.
And
Because it helps me with recovery too.
Before we start, I've got all my little notes here because we have so much to cover, but tell us just a little bit, tell us, this pretend audience, a little bit about you and your ED story, just so we know where it starts as we start to talk about how it's affected you over time.
Okay, so
That's a lot to put in a short thing.
So I started with eating disorder behaviors or distorted eating from a very young age. I developed anorexia at a young age in my teens and early 20s. I finally went through the process of recovery, and now in the last, I'd say maybe 3 months, I've been struggling with binge eating.
Is that the first time you've ever struggled with that behavior?
I had in the past with anorexia struggled with binging sometimes. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like a cross between anorexia and bulimia.
Mm-hmm. So you had binge purge for a while, behaviors.
Yeah.
So you've had everything.
Pretty much.
Maybe. But when you first, in your teens, when it first started showing in you, it was restrictive.
It was more disgust with certain foods and obsessive exercise.
Okay. Which was the disgust with certain foods a little bit of an ARFID thing too?
No, I think it was from other people in my life being disgusted with those foods.
Oh, interesting. Meaning that they didn't think they were good foods to eat?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you started rating foods by good or bad or food rules at some point?
Yes.
Okay. So it started as that. When did it take you from when you struggled with the first behaviors to get help? How long did that take?
Years. Couple years. I didn't get help until spring of 2021.
And you're how old now?
24. I'll be 25 this year.
So it was much later. You were almost an adult, right?
Yeah.
At that point, you were an adult.
I was 19.
Yeah. So a lot of suffering through high school that untreated.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily anorexic in high school. Mm-hmm. I had the tendencies, though.
So your brain was busy.
Yes.
You had food noise.
Yes.
Like the disgusting items were the food noise.
Yes.
So then it's slowly building in you over time, not really being identified. You know it's there. Then you go get help, but you're getting help for anorexia. And you said at some point it became about like a binge purge behavior too?
It was always I was diagnosed with anorexia purging subtype. Mm-hmm. So
no binge, you were just bulimic or purging with the anorexia.
I was either binging and purging or just purging.
Got it. Okay.
In different ways.
So you did have some of the tendency even then, which, I mean, eating disorders are on a huge round spectrum, right?
Right.
So there already were some signs that you could dysregulate any of those areas.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which I think is true for anyone with an eating disorder. I feel like once your brain has food noise, once you have that relationship, anything can come out of that, can manifest.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's all unexpected.
So tell me a little more about that. What do you mean by unexpected?
Like you don't expect it to hit you, and it hits you, and all of a sudden you wake up and you're here and you wonder how you got there.
So the shift in behaviors does, or just the overall disorder itself?
Overall.
Yeah. And for you, since it's been so much of your life, does that still happen? Do you still have mornings where you wake up and go, what is going on?
But I'm in a much healthier place now. Like, I'm able to joke. I'm able to go through things that I don't like.
Does your therapist hear that?
He probably
Distress
will.
tolerance. You're still seeing Matt?
Yes.
Okay, nice.
Still seeing Matt.
So you're taking it with, I don't want to say levity, but you're taking it with less getting maybe smacked in the face by it. It's more like
yes.
giving you a little jab.
It's more consistent. It's a little consistent jab.
Okay. I kind of like that better than getting a,
yeah,
a huge hit with it. What I think is so interesting about your journey is that you are in a recovery state. You've been working
yes.
on recovery. You've done very well overall. We have other podcasts about you where you talk about your whole journey, but it's not over.
No, it's not.
It's not
a
over.
Continuous journey.
For some people, right? I think everyone, that's that spectrum again. Some people early on their brain quiets and the voice is quiet and the symptoms, but other people it keeps kind of coming back.
I've had voices kind of quiet, but I still have moments with calories and certain foods and body image that we'll talk about, and still have those. It's just I handle them a lot better.
Which is huge.
Most of the time.
Huge. Because in the beginning, I'm going to guess you didn't handle them at all.
No.
So that's something you've learned to do, to be able to manage when it does come to you.
Yes.
Do you know what it is that makes it get louder? Like, I know you got married recently, didn't you?
A couple years ago, yeah.
It was not that long ago, really?
Yeah.
I feel like I was just watching you on Facebook and be like, you got married. Was it years ago?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. I don't know why I thought it was recent. Maybe were one of you putting something up about like new love or something? Maybe that's what I saw.
Maybe. It was 2024.
It said that because I thought maybe life transitions. Are there other things that sneak in that get in the way?
There have been life transitions where the binge eating kind of came into play this past year.
What was that then?
So like I was on a leave and my husband was on a leave and he went back to work. So I think that stressed my mind out.
Meaning you guys were home for a period of time.
Yes.
Was it a not that you have to go into detail, but was it a stressful leave or a good leave that you were home together?
It was kind of stressful.
Okay.
It was stressful.
But you were home together with a routine and a schedule.
Yes.
And then your husband went back to work.
Yes.
Okay. That could be a big change.
And then, finding out that we had to move and
Do it.
making that adjustment for myself and managing my symptoms for myself rather than having my husband such a big part of it. And not that I don't love that he's a big part of it. I do. But that was such a big factor where when I was by myself, I really struggled to handle those things on my own.
Yeah. And that's a really tough one, isn't it? When you have something that works and then it changes.
Yeah.
And life is changing, but I appreciate that you shared that. I think a lot of people feel that transitions make it so hard to stick with what was working.
Right.
So then you felt the binge eating began because you were home more?
I was home more. I was going through a lot of personal things, like identity. I had an identity crisis.
Really?
Yes. And
is this different from we talked about some of your identity and being a transgender person, or was this totally different?
It was related, I would say.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this wasn't just about husband not being home. You were going through a bit of your own life transition too.
I didn't know necessarily what was happening or what I wanted to do or who I was for a while.
That's scary. Mm-hmm. Are you out of that now? Did you?
Yes.
You
yes.
are. Okay.
Yes.
Did you do that? How did you? Because I'm sure people are hearing this going, I go through that. Did you do that through help? Did you do that? How did you get through that?
I talked a lot with Matt. A lot of reflection on my own.
Yeah.
On my own, I reflected a lot, and with that reflection, sometimes would cause the binge eating.
Because you're opening up the doors, right? You're opening up this information.
And the stresses of like, how do I tell everyone after all of this? And how do I, excuse me, how do I go about going through all of this being what I've already been through?
Meaning having to tell people that you're struggling again?
Having to tell people what the truth actually was that I came to.
Oh, okay.
Rather than what was being presented at that time.
So part of your identity shift or whatever was sharing with others. This wasn't just an internal story. You had to say to other people, this is something that matters to me, or this is where I'm at in my space. So that is hard. Were people welcoming and inviting your information, or was it hard to share?
It was hard.
Yeah.
It's one of the harder things I've had to do.
How we identify ourselves and our roles with ourselves and others is a major way we know ourselves, and it's also a big place of anxiety for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Even a role as simple as becoming married can do that.
And my eating disorder tendencies are tied to my anxiety. Sure. Very much.
Yeah.
So,
they play together, don't they?
Yes, they do.
They do for most people. Because that one brings the other brings the other, who knows? But they enjoy. And your identity and the whole journey you've been on as the person you are makes you vulnerable too.
Exactly.
To eating disorder. Because there's such a tendency to want to fix or change or alter or learn yourself through what we do to our bodies.
Yes.
And you know it never works, but we try it, right?
Yeah.
You tried it. So you went through this. So a lot of change for you.
There was a lot of change, yes.
A lot of change. But it sounds to me, other than maybe being on leave, this was change you couldn't have always predicted. So it would have been hard to have a preventive plan?
I couldn't predict it. It was very extremely sudden.
That makes it harder. Like if we know something's coming up and we're like, okay, you're about to go off to college, or you're about to move or something, we can prep for those things. But an identity crisis kind of comes sometimes without warning.
Yes, it definitely did. And, I knew my husband was going back to work. He had to come home a few times from work, but...
You really struggled with this.
Yes, and finding out we were moving came on suddenly. So a lot of things that came on suddenly that needed to be handled.
And I think if you have a long history of an eating disorder, that tends to become the default. So when life gets unsteady, it seems to be people will grab, or it will come back and say, I'll hold you. I'll take care of you.
And I used to never be that way. I used to be very restrictive when that would happen. I would lose my appetite and everything else.
Which isn't good either.
It's not good either. No. But the behavior that shifted was I went from before it would be more restrictive, and then to now where it was binge. Yeah. And not all of it was binge. Some of it was overeating. But it also had to do with like a medication adjustment I was on as well.
Okay. That can totally change your appetite and the way your body handles satiation.
But it was both mental and physical.
And even if the med kind of created that in you, you're still having the physical response of knowing that your body is full when you're not used to it full.
Right.
Or over full.
I was very out of touch with my hunger cues. And I'm just now, my hunger and fullness cues. And I'm just now trying to get back in touch with them.
That's a huge one, isn't it? When something shifts that, because as much as we call it intuitive eating, they're really not intuitive. As soon as you mess with them, they change.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll change in a heartbeat.
My hunger and fullness cues have definitely shifted. Like I'll eat something, I'll be full, and I'll eat like a lot of what would be a lot of food to me, and I'd be like, why am I still hungry?
Yeah.
Or it would be like 2 hours later, and I'm like, why am I still hungry? Because, there was a point where I was eating every 2 hours. I was eating something, whether it was a snack or whether it was a meal.
You were supposed to. That was part of your eating disorder, right? Recovery was to eat regularly. Because then that keeps the hunger, fullness cues kind of on point. But they can shift, and then when they shift, you probably don't know what to trust because you can't trust them anymore.
Exactly.
So you and Matt probably had to work very hard on you getting back to that mindful awareness and scheduled eating. Did you have to do more scheduled eating then?
I tried on my own. It was, again, like with my husband's influence, it was hard to do on my own. I would be perfectly fine when we were together, and then by myself, I really struggled to even keep that structure.
Makes sense, right? Especially when you're in, and you have someone in your life who's very hands-on and helps you and gets it. And that's really hard not to have that.
Yeah.
He's like your IOP, and then you step down to no IOP.
And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful. Yeah. I'm extremely grateful. Yeah. But it has made it very difficult.
You have to figure out how to do it as your own core, and regardless of what's happening.
Yes.
Because if something happens where he has to go out of town for work, or who knows, you're going to be solo at times in life. Yeah, that's tough. So you're figuring that out now. I'm trying to think how to word this. How did your kind of brain, or maybe your identity, how did that all handle the difference between restricting and binging? How did it approach the fact that all of a sudden there was a binge behavior? Was there a different language in your head, I guess is what I'm looking for there?
I would say yes and no. Because my mind would still think, oh, I'm not going to eat the rest of the night. Yeah. But then I would binge. Or I would overeat. So it would do the opposite of what my mind was thinking. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it went to the extreme.
Right. You don't want to not eat, but you felt out of control when you were eating.
Right.
Were you shaming yourself? Was there a shame cycle like there can be with restriction?
I would say maybe not all the time, but majority of the time.
Okay.
Majority of the time.
I mean,
probably like 99% of the time.
That's a hallmark of binge eating, right? Is that you overeating is just I ate more than my body wanted, perhaps.
And even with the overeating too, I would have like some shamefulness with it.
Which then puts you again in a vulnerability of the thoughts you had way back in the eating disorder.
Yes.
To kind of go with it.
Yes.
So it's giving yourself permission and grace that there's a behavior you have to work through, and being okay with that.
Yes.
And it's a new behavior. It's a new set of tools to manage binge eating versus restrictive.
Right.
And there's a lot of urge management tools. There's a lot of sensory tools, which...
Urge journaling.
Yeah. Oh, is that what you're doing?
Well,
Yeah?
I've done it once.
That's all right. Does it help when you can kind of...
When I did do it that one time, yes, it actually did help.
The one time. That's okay, though, because just remembering once means you practiced it.
Yeah.
To find out. Yeah, it's different. And I think that it sort of comes down to knowing what is going to be intense enough before a binge thought or behavior to help redirect you, like having those in place ahead of time. You know, if somebody's coming to storm your castle, you can't think about it when they're at the gates. You have to already come up with a plan, or they're going to ambush you.
That's where I haven't really came up with a plan. Like in my head, I've thought, you know, okay, next time I feel like having a binge or feeling a little out of control, I'll urge journal. Well, that hasn't happened yet.
And maybe urge journaling as a good tool isn't strong enough for your urges when you want to binge. You might need something like really intense. Everyone needs a different level of what's going to get you out of that kind of space. So it's hard. I think that's a really hard thing to work on. The good news is that you're not undernourishing your body. You're not going to die on us. Because when you were in your anorexic stage and when the body's malnourished, it's the most unsafe place. Binging is not as unsafe, to be honest.
Yes, I almost wasn't. I was in a very unsafe place.
Yeah. So, and not that we want anyone to feel out of control with food, but you're on the better end of the spectrum in that sense. You have time. I guess what I'm getting at to heal.
And I remember I was like trying to like maintain my weight at one point, and I remember having that fear of going from one end to the other.
Yeah. You were afraid, oh, what if I end up being a binge eater?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a common fear. Yeah. People say to me all the time, how do I know if I eat your way, how do I know when I'll not be eating what I shouldn't be for my body or when I'm overeat? Yeah, it's a big fear. And if you follow a scheduled, mindful, intuitive practice regularly, and it doesn't break the cycle too much, you won't. But somewhere along the line, you lost the mindful, the intuitive, or the schedule. And that's when the binging came in, right?
Yes.
So if you were able to stick to it, it wouldn't have happened.
Well, I lost the schedule, and I also lost the intuitiveness of it.
Yeah.
Because at one point, I was doing in more intuitive eating, and I would like to get to that spot.
You earned it.
I'm just not there yet.
So now you're back to every 4 hours, make sure I eat. Make sure my plate's balanced kind of thing?
Sometimes every 2, sometimes every 4, every 3.
Good. But
Just
you're not
depends.
going longer than 4 without eating. You know better.
No.
You know what to put on your plate kind of stuff.
Yes.
Like we talked about your breakfast. It was a nice mix of food groups.
Yep.
And you did have breakfast. You didn't skip it.
Yes.
And you came here early enough. Would you have skipped it if we started earlier when you guys were here?
I had a snack this morning.
Smart. All right.
I had a snack this morning at like 6:30.
Yeah.
And
We were
then
up early.
so when we went to breakfast, I really wasn't that hungry, but I kind of forced myself to eat a little bit more.
Because that's almost like a situational social eating. You were waiting for us to start. You're at a place with your husband. Of course you're going to eat, even if you're not really hungry. So that was good. How does, because I know you have these great resources, I'm so excited. How did your body image shift when you went from the anorexic purge feature brain all the way through binge eating? Did it change a lot? Or is it different now, I guess? Shifted, right? At some point. I would assume. I think that's what you're commenting on earlier.
The body dysmorphia has shifted just because my weight has shifted. But the body dysphoria had also had some shifts, or what I thought were shifts, throughout last year.
Okay. Was that tied to the crisis you were going through?
Yes.
All right. Makes sense.
And I think one of the things I wrote down, I think it's important to differentiate between body dysphoria and body dysmorphia.
Can you tell us that for people who maybe don't understand? How do you differentiate the difference? That's a great idea. Because you and I take it for granted.
Yes. So body dysphoria is a psychological distress that someone experiences when their sex assigned at birth does not align with their gender identity.
Beautifully said.
Body dysmorphia is a mental health condition where perceived flaws that are often seen to the person as extreme are hardly noticeable or unnoticeable to others.
Absolutely. It's a misperception. The other one is a misconnection with your identity
Yes.
in your body, right?
Correct.
Very different. But they could be happening at the same time.
They can.
Duh.
And
Yuck.
for me, it does. And that makes it very difficult.
You just need to stay away from any awareness of your body.
I know.
Don't look at it. Don't touch it.
I've even said before to myself, like, man, I have too much awareness of my body.
Yeah.
Not even just my physical body, but also my internal, like my internal dialogue.
And also, you're probably very interoceptive where you really know what's going on in your body because your body's been a focal point for you. Not only as a transgender person, but in your eating disorder. It's always about
Yes.
your body, isn't it? So, all right, so let me ask you this. Where are you at on this? How much progress have you made in either of those, or is it still a journey? 'Cause those can last for the lifetime even when you're in recovery.
What do you mean by progress?
Do you feel like you're able to turn down the sound of it a little bit? Are you able to challenge it better? Are you able
At
to?
times.
At
At
times.
times.
Yeah. Still there.
Dysphoria definitely comes in waves.
Is that expected, by the way? When you're a transgender person, is it going to sneak up a lot just because the world is different and you're different?
It can, especially with society.
Right. Like I would think it's asking you to check yourself all the time.
It can. I personally, I struggle with body neutrality for this reason.
Okay.
For having both, it makes it very difficult. That's why I struggle with body neutrality.
Meaning just looking at your body as a neutral palette.
Yes.
That's hard for you to do.
Yes.
Because do you need to qualify it more or give it a label?
I've tried doing body neutrality in the past for a time, and I do have some components of it.
Okay.
I just don't solely focus on body neutrality.
Which is fine. It doesn't work for everyone because some people aren't neutral. They actually don't like something about their body, and their job instead is to learn to live your life fully even though you don't like something. That's a very different thinking than, it's okay, it's neutral. What about if it's not?
Right.
What about if you hate your big toe? And that's your big toe for life, and you really don't like it for many reasons, you can still
Yeah.
have a happy life and not like your big toe.
Right.
So that's not neutrality, right? That's radical acceptance. Yeah.
Exactly.
You've worked a lot on this, I can tell, though. You're trying. It's hard.
It is.
When we work through eating disorder recovery, one of the things that stays often is either, it may not necessarily be body dysmorphia anymore, but it's the inability to not judge your body. It's really hard. Someone will be on this great path and all of a sudden something happens and they can't help but be like, or judge or wonder,
Right.
or they get pregnant or they get in a new relationship. It's really tough.
Yes.
We are
it
so
is.
assigned at birth to think about our bodies.
Yeah. That's something I thought about the other day when I was doing some research on it.
And what did you find? You said because this is such a challenge for you and others, you said you found some body resources on this?
For neutrality, for body neutrality.
Okay, because that is
Yes.
that is a tool for a lot of people. It is. It's just, it depends on whether or not you can buy in. What did you find? And I'll put all this in the show notes because you've
Let
done
me
some nice
show you.
research.
So NEDA, the National Eating Disorders Association, they have 5 steps to practice body neutrality. And I thought that was very useful.
Is it on their site, Grayson?
It is.
Oh, good.
It
Okay,
is
I'll
on
find
their
it and
site.
link it. Yay! Look at you doing my
Yay.
homework. I love it.
Yeah. And then Harvard Health Publishing
Okay.
said that people of many sizes can be healthy and well, especially with a growth mindset, self-compassion, and mindfulness.
Amen.
So an example is like your digestive system. Your digestive system is digesting the food that you ate. That's body neutrality, focusing on the function.
Love it. The utility of it.
And lastly, the one that I like the most is thrivehere.com. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
I don't think I am. Tell me about it.
They have 15 body neutrality affirmations, and I wrote a few of my favorites down.
Okay, say them. Because
Okay.
not everyone would be watching it, so I want to hear these.
I accept my body exactly as it is right now.
Okay.
It is okay for my body image to change throughout my life. And
Oh, that one's for you.
Yep. I deserve to eat when I'm hungry.
Beautiful.
And so those three
Beautiful.
I really like because, you know, the body image, I try and remind myself of that quite a bit, especially in the last year. And the first one, I accept my body exactly as it is right now. Last month, I told my dietitian that I was like, you know, I'm not happy with my weight right now. I would like for my weight in my body to be different, but I accept the way exactly as it is.
Was your dietitian like?
A little bit.
Because that's a big deal. That means I'm not going to hurt myself because it's not in the place I want it to be.
Yes.
It's not what I was thinking, but I can take radical acceptance again. It is the bloody DVT every time, right?
And also, I think it's important to acknowledge that it's okay if I want to change my body in that regard, in regards to weight or however. I think that's okay as long as it's being done in a healthy way, both mentally and physically. And I think that's perfectly okay because the body image continuously changes.
It does. And as long as someone like you who's had a long history of it just does it with monitoring, meaning having someone to be accountable with to make sure that you're setting an intention for the right reasons, you're staying away from the things that can get in the way. So, yeah, our bodies do change and they can, and we all live in a different body, and we all live in a different body every day. Our cells are changing all the time. Your stomach lining is changing all the time. Your body and my body have totally different needs and a totally different story. Who just beeped? Somebody beeped. I know, somebody beeped. We'll see. That's okay. Keep beeping. So I love that you said that because we have to have some flexibility around people when they're in recovery state after those first few years, being able to negotiate their body a little bit. Yeah. You've brought a lot of good stuff, as you always do. Is there one piece of advice for someone who's going through either of these journeys that you've been on?
Oh, I forgot I wrote it down.
I know. So this will cover either the transition in behaviors or just the body image journey.
So, well, I didn't write down for the eating disorder behaviors transition, but I did write down for body dysphoria and dysmorphia.
Perfect. I'm ready. What is that piece?
For body dysphoria, you're going to have good days and bad days. You are. It's just a fact of what it is.
Be ready for it.
It may not go away. But you're going to have those good days and bad days.
Good.
And
even if you had something like arthritis, it may never go away, but it could be better at times, right?
Same kind of idea. To never stop being yourself. Because I lost that for a while.
That's what I was thinking where that came from, didn't it? What you just went through, that's your way of saying just be yourself.
Yes, exactly. And then for the dysmorphia, be kind to yourself wherever you are on your journey.
Self-compassion.
Yes.
And grace.
Yes.
No matter what. And that's kind of like the other one you said too. It's just, it's overall this kindness and allowing for the journey that you're on.
Yeah.
And for you, I would add, you need to constantly give yourself credit for how far you've come. Even though it's still hard. I know it's frustrating when you're in recovery and you're still like, why am I thinking this? Why am I going through this? But you've still
done it. The thoughts are the last to go.
They're the last to go. And like you said so well in there,
if they
sometimes
even
they still
go.
stay. They might still be there. And that's okay. You can still live a good quality high life with that being there. Do you have a word?
Imperfect.
Tingles. I love it. Because we are all and should all be imperfect.
Yes.
That's like the light behind you is crooked, and I do that on purpose on a lot of this stuff so that something doesn't look too even.
Yeah.
It makes some people crazy. I like move some of the frames in my office so they're not
That's
square.
actually not a bad idea because with eating disorders, perfectionism is huge. I may take you up on that when we move and I have all my pictures up. I'm going to shift them.
Just shift something like a little bit over. Makes people crazy. But it's allowing you and the world around you to be imperfect because that's beautiful and it's interesting.
I'm going to take that with me.
I taught you something today?
You did.
I'm so excited.
You did.
Well, this was round 3 for us, I think. You were one of the
was.
first that came to talk with me.
Really?
Yeah, I think you were pretty early on when I first started doing the audio
Wow,
podcast. Yeah.
that's awesome.
And then
hopefully
you came back
we have more.
And I have to have more with you. It's a rule. We have to do
Okay.
this. I'm so excited.
I love that.
Awesome. I appreciate your time and coming to talk again.
I appreciate you.
You got it. Till next time.
Till next time.
Thanks for listening to the Mental Health Spotlight podcast, helping you hold hope on your recovery path.